Alright, welcome back, guys. So last week I took you onto the farm and we saw how food is grown in the dirt and how it's harvested, and this week we're going to talk about how the food travels from the farm to the grocery stores.
Yep, so right now like as Tiffany mentioned last week, that a lot of times food will actually get wasted at the farm because it's not pretty enough, right? So a way that we could avoid this is by encouraging farmers to continue selling their ugly food, and us as consumers continuing to buy this food that's not necessarily the same shape or the same size as the other food next to it. It's still nutritious. And that continues our cycle of keeping food local. Once we continue to buy produce, whether it's pretty or ugly, from our local farmer, we're still continuing our food to have less of a carbon footprint, because right now sometimes a lot of the food that we get at the grocery stores come from different parts of the country and sometimes different parts of the world. That makes our food have a larger, more impactful carbon footprint, and that's kind of what we're trying to avoid.
And sometimes it's unavoidable. Things like avocados and bananas are never gonna naturally grow here in Pennsylvania, but those are great foods and we love them. So it's okay to still buy those types of things, but it's always good to just be mindful, knowing that they most likely came from California or Florida, so thousands of miles all the way to Pennsylvania. So knowing that those options that you might choose to eat have a larger carbon footprint, you can choose to buy other items like squash, greens, root vegetables, that can come from a more local source that are grown here in Pennsylvania. And so this kind of can relate to a tomato. So tomatoes grow in Pennsylvania, however they're grown seasonally in the spring and summer months. So instead of buying a tomato that has come all the way from California in the middle of July, you can try and either go to a farmer's market and buy a tomato directly from a local farmer, or even in the stores they have local sections now where you can buy a tomato that's been locally grown instead of shipped from far away. And this also encourages us to eat more seasonally. So like I said, tomatoes are grown here in Pennsylvania in spring and summer months. Maybe we only eat tomatoes during those seasons, and in the later seasons we try to eat food that can be grown around here, or we can preserve food to last into the winter.
Right, and preserving food is actually a lot of fun. So as Tiffany mentioned at one point in our last video, when you purchase food locally and seasonally, it encourages you to get a little bit more creative in the kitchen. So that's what the fun part about preserving food is finding different ways to preserve your tomatoes. You can make tons of tomato sauce or pickles. Pickles are a lot of fun. You can make vegetable stock as well and freeze that and use that all throughout the year. Yeah, there's many different ways to preserve food. Also, food dehydrators will take you a long way.
Yeah, and so this is basically the process. We've gone from the farm now to the store, and next week we're going to focus on once the food gets into your house, what happens then. So stay tuned, and thanks for staying with us. We hope you have a great day.